hundreds of people who have taken their own lives in the forest, Aokigahara has a deeply mysterious nature, which in itself is fascinating, even without the countless deaths under its leafy canopy. Here are 10 facts you may not know about the Japanese suicide forest. It is second only to the Golden Gate Bridge for suicide numbers. Aokigahara is also called Jukai by locals, and it means sea of trees. It is commonly known as the Japanese suicide forest, and it is second on the list of the world's most frequently used suicide locations. The Golden Gate Bridge in the US takes the number 1 spot, which makes sense in that it is pretty easy to die by jumping off a high bridge, but it's not so quick and easy to die in a forest. It was formed by a volcanic eruption over 1100 years ago. The forest was actually created after an eruption of Mount Fuji in the 9th century, which resulted in lava covering 12 square miles where the forest now stands. Over the centuries, the forest grew to cover this lava field, and it is peppered with caves and caverns in the rock. Over the years, they developed mythologies of their own. The most famous of these caves are the Lake Sai Bat Cave and the Narusawa Ice Cave, which remains at only 37 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius all year round. The composition of the rock on which the forest stands is theorised as possibly being one of the reasons the forest is the site of so many suicides. Perhaps the geomagnetic anomalies induce or magnify dark thoughts in people who are otherwise already somewhat susceptible. The ribbon trees. Ribbons can be seen tied to trees in the forest, and some people tie them and use them as markers to find their way on the return journey. Others, though, succumb to their personal despair in the forest and never follow the trail they left to guide them back out. Eerie silence in the suicide forest. The porous lava floor actually absorbs sound, and the forest is said to be eerily silent, further adding to its creepy reputation. The dense, overarching tree canopy also stops wind from reaching below the tops of the trees, giving the forest a still and very quiet nature. Adding to this eerie quality is the presence of numerous warning signs installed around the forest floor, urging people against taking their own life. Yet every year, people actually travel to spend their final moments within the forest, and many of the dead each year are found to be non-locals. In fact, a government report detailed that between 2013 and 2015, more than 100 of the suicides were people who didn't live within the areas surrounding Aokigahara. In 2003, 105 bodies were found, and in 2010, 247 attempts are on record, with 54 of those being fatal. Scattered with personal items. Those who do ultimately take their own lives in the forest leave behind the belongings they brought in with them, and personal items are scattered throughout, including shoes, clothes, notebooks, and even mobile phones.